Hey, beautiful good afternoon from yours truly, Mr. Panuka. And it's quite another, lovely day. You can actually see the sun, shining in my face. Beautiful day it is. We've had quite, some serious rains in the past week. So it's actually quite, good to receive the sunshine. It's very good for the crops. So we love that. So today I just want to just give you a bit of a sneak peek on our, sweet pepper, how it's doing. We seem to have actually started the year on a red swag, and shortly you'll actually see why I'm actually talking about the red swag. So yeah, without further ado, let's get in so that you actually appreciate how red we are. The sweet peppers that we actually transplanted, sometime last year, to be precise, that was on the 19th of October, 2021. This is Duke. Um, you know, that's a Stacker's, variety. So look at how lovely, these fruits, looking. And we love the uniformity in the, ripening, process. You can actually see quite a lot of, red, fruits around here, wherever you look, which is very good. And what you want to see is make sure that, this fruit is actually quite solid. The walls must be very solid. That also tells you that your calcium balance is on point. So some people, do mistake that, when a pepper looks like this, something is wrong. This is actually, a signal that it's in the process of turning. And then from this, green to brownish color, that means it's in the process. And then when you look at this one, it's almost there. So it's kind of turned a lot more brown. Okay. And then it gets to something like this with a bit of black, patches. And eventually you see, something like this all red. So that's the process that, a sweet pepper goes through. It comes from all green, and then it begins to go through all those, processes. So it's quite a bit of those that have turned, color. You can actually see it's a sea of red. So I guess you can now appreciate why I said we're actually starting the year with the red bang, or the red swag, as it were. So quite some lovely, spectacle here. And this is how you want to start a year, with a bang. And again, like we always say, you've got to stay consistent with your management practices. You can actually see we've stayed, consistent with this, use of two, stem, system as opposed to a three. But three stem, I think, works out for others, but for us, I think the two stem, system has worked, very well. Yeah, look at the results. So one thing is that you expect, consistency across different, greenhouses in terms of just the general outlook. And like we've previously indicated, for us, our market, loves them blocky, and there must be around 2, to 250, grams per, sweet pepper. So we have to make sure that we get it right. And that's the more reason why you actually see quite a bit of, pruning here and there, just making sure that we improve the general outlook of these, fruits. And so you see quite some very lovely, blocky fruits everywhere you look. This one is still, going through some processing until it gets to the right, size. So something like this is basically what our market loves, and it must have 4 lobes. So even in the next, greenhouse, we have, sweet pepper, which is the same, age. So we'll get there. So as we try and just get to the other, greenhouse so that you see what's going on, it's very important to actually indicate that, with sweet pepper, it takes quite a while for you to get it right. Because remember, it will actually stay, in the nursery for around even 2 months. And then from there, you take it into the field, takes you another, say, 3 to 4 months before you can actually begin to see some very good fruits. And then there's the color turning process. So that's another almost 4 to 5 months of no revenue, as it were. And so what you want when you start a year is that you actually have to have quite a number of fields or greenhouses, as it were, staggered, obviously, in the quest for consistency, so that you can actually meet the numbers. And one tricky issue that is quite critical is that once you get into the cold season, in our case that's about May, June, the ripening process for sweet pepper slows down. And so you actually see that a process such as this, for it to actually get to red takes quite a while. And so at that point, you actually have to make sure that you've got a number of greenhouses if you have to meet the orders because of the ripening process. And obviously, once you get to say October, when it's very hot, it actually ripens quite quickly. So yeah, you've got to play around with the weather patterns, with the market and stuff like that. So all the those are critical dimensions that you've got to take into account. So let's just check the next greenhouse and see what's going on there. So welcome to greenhouse number 2. Another crop, same profile as the other one. This is Duke Stachy's variety. 19th of October 2021, that's when it was transplanted. So you can actually see the crop also looks similar to the other one, slightly with less red fruits because we harvested here. So usually the harvesting is actually alternated. Harvest from these other greenhouses and then move on to the next. So like tomorrow's orders, obviously we'll get into the one where we just come from, where it's all red. Yeah, so it's just playing around with production scheduling and a bit of on-site operations on the farm. But generally you can actually see some very lovely crop. And look at how lovely and big this fruit is. That's what you want to see. So again, all red. And what you also see is a general uniformity in the sizes of these sweet peppers. So that's what you want to also see to avoid a lot of these fruits failing the litmus test from the perspective of the off-takers. Yeah, so there you have it, folks. I hope that also just gives you a bit of a glimpse on what's going on with our sweet pepper production. As a farmer, I think these are times you actually feel good that yeah, we nailed it. Because it's not easy, to be honest. I think to turn around some of these crops, especially pepper, I think it's one crop that personally as Mr. Panuka give quite a lot of respect. It takes quite a lot of time, very meticulous in the way you've got to manage it, especially nutrition wise. Tricky. Yeah, so yeah, so have a lovely one, folks. And for those that probably tuned in for the first time, this is Mr. Panuka, the CEO and founder of Panuka Enterprise, or farms, as it were, which is based here in Lusaka, Zambia. So remember to subscribe and support our farming journey, and also the tidbits that we do share on different aspects of farming. So from here at Panuka Farm, it's a lovely one, and bye-bye.